The biggest tournament in women's football is about to get even bigger. FIFA has announced that starting in 2031, the Women's World Cup will expand from 32 to 48 teams, matching the format already planned for the men's tournament in 2026. The revamped format will feature 12 groups of 4 teams, increasing the number of matches from 64 to 104 and extending the tournament by an extra week. The move comes after the success of the 2023 edition in Australia and New Zealand, which was the first to host 32 teams. FIFA President Gianni Infantino says the tournament proved that smaller nations are rapidly closing the gap with the world's elite.
Well, it's a very important day today for women's football. The FIFA Council, after having thoroughly analyzed the question, decided today to increase the number of participating teams, of participating countries in the FIFA Women's World Cup to 48. As of the edition of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2031, there will be not anymore 32 teams participating, but 48 countries from all over the world. And this is a very, very important message on what FIFA is doing for the development of the women's game, not just in a few countries, but literally all over the world.
For what I think about the expansion of the Women's World Cup to 48 teams, I think that it's a big step from FIFA for the growth of the game, particularly in Africa. I hope it opens the door for more nations to gain exposure on the world stage, which can be transformative both on and off the pitch. For African countries, this means increased investment in grassroots development, infrastructure, coaching, refereeing, which are all critical components for sustainable progress, which we need. It also gives young girls across the continent visible role models and the belief that they too can compete at the highest level.
That decision by FIFA to extend the women footballing nations from 32 to 48, at least taking effect by 2031, then 2035, that's when the United Kingdom will host the World Cup, and that's when it's going to be very, very effective. Is a good development for developing countries in women football, because right now some African countries are developing rapidly in women football. We talk about Algeria, talk about Morocco, and other African countries. They are coming up in women football. They are gaining interest. They are being popular. Women footballers are advancing their careers in different continents. So that's a welcome development. From 32 to 48, it brings more room to competitiveness as it is now. Some other countries that you may call minnows can even come and upset the bigger countries.
The United States is expected to host the expanded tournament in 2031 as the only country to submit a bid so far. If confirmed, it will mark the third time the US has hosted the Women's World Cup after 1999 and 2003.
I think the intention of FIFA to generally generally expand the FIFA World Cup, Women's World Cup from 32 to 48 teams. It's out of clear intentions to increase the tournament's inclusivity and also offering opportunity to on fancy teams, on fancy nations to participating on the world stage. I think this, for me, is a move that is beneficial to a lot of emerging footballing nations in terms of women's football. And you see countries like India, despite high ranked uh, 69th in the world, which they have more attainable pathway to securing qualification for a major tournament like the Women's World Cup. And I think it's also an incredible opportunity to not just increase the number, but again, it's about also holistically developing the women's game globally, seeing encouraging more member associations to invest, and also kind of the aim at expanding, aim at stimulating investment in women's football infrastructure growth globally. So I think it has massive lot of impact and also somewhat also improve uh, the challenging faces of women's football, especially at the various and national federations across the world.
FIFA says the expansion will give more nations the chance to compete at the highest level and help continue the global rise of women's football. But what would this expansion possibly mean for the growth and development of women's football on the African continent?
While the challenge of readiness remains, the opportunity far outweighs the risk. And I think that this move is not just about growing the game globally, it's about leveling the playing field. We've seen in the men's game and youth tournaments that what begins as an imbalance can evolve into a much more level and exciting competition. The key will be ensuring that development programs, competitive fixtures, and resources keep pace with the expansion. That's where FIFA and the continental federations like CAF must play a proactive role.
There's always concern in the aspect of the impact on competitiveness and quality of play at the World Cup, seeing what the expansion could give back to, increasing the number of matches to 104 matches and also having over 12 groups. I think this definitely, many feel, will really impact the quality of and complexity of scheduling and potential disparity in terms of team performance. But when you look at the initial expansion to 24 in Australia and New Zealand, you could see that the difference in the terms of score line, we weren't seeing the cricket scoreline like we saw before, despite the expansion to 24 for the first time. And I think this goes a long way to tell that the game is evolving. The number of teams who manage to qualify, understanding, looking at the pathways, they have to fight their way to get to that, to the final.
All across the globe, women's football continues to grow in leaps, in bounds. Societies that previously prevented women's football from flourishing have relaxed their rules, allowing young girls to get into the game. The Women's World Cup is keeping pace with this global growth, expanding in size, stature, and influence, and 2031 could be a defining moment in sports history. In Lagos for News Central, Favour Itua.